Hi friends, Brenda here from the Pop-Up Homestead. Today, I thought with Thanksgiving being close, we'd make some homemade pumpkin pie. So, you start by cutting a pumpkin in half, scooping all the seeds out, feeding them to your chickens, or you can roast the pumpkin seeds. And after you roast them, salt them with a little olive oil if you want. Use olive oil and salt. So the first thing we do, these baked at 400 for an hour. Mind you, I'm using a little toaster oven, so I had to do a half at a time, but that's fine. Let me grab a spoon and I'll show you how we get the pumpkin puree out. You can do this with any type of squash. You can do this with butternut squash. You can do this with pie pumpkins, which this happens to be a little pie pumpkin. And I'm only using this because I got it free from a friend, Miss Sheila. Thank you very much. And basically, you scoop out the pumpkin puree. All the ingredients are going to go into the Ninja here. They all get blended up, and then the pie plate goes into the oven and bakes until the pie is done. So I'll go over all the details with you, but basically I'm just going to show you how to do it. Pumpkin puree couldn't be easier. So I'm waited it to cool. You see, it's just scraping out real easy. And then you can take this shell, whatever's left of it, and you can put that in your compost. You can give it to any livestock that you might have. You could throw it in the woods for wildlife. They would enjoy that as well. So as you can see, just scraping it out. You see a half a pumpkin. Let's see if I push it down here. Yeah, a half a pumpkin made just about 2 cups of pumpkin puree. So you see that? So I'm just going to set this aside. The pumpkin tastes great too. See, this is the one that just came out of the oven. So I will probably scoop this out and put this in a freezer bag and label it pumpkin puree, 2 cups, so that I know next time I want to make a pie, I'll have the pumpkin puree already made. So from one small pie pumpkin, you get 2 pies. Is how it's working out today. So what I'm actually making here is I am making a healthier version of pumpkin pie. And it's completely from scratch. So I'm going to be making a crust-less pumpkin pie. And what that means is, you heard, no crust. So how does that work? Well, I'm going to puree up all the ingredients in the blender. After I do that, I pour it right into the pie shell and I bake it. And my sweet friend Kathleen Britton actually taught this to me. And I thought she was a little crazy. I thought, well, it probably just tastes like pumpkin pudding or something. But no, it tastes just like pumpkin pie and it pulls away from the sides. It's actually really delicious. So let's get started. We're going to start with the 2 cups of pumpkin puree right into the blender. And you know, if you were to use a little bit more, a little bit less of the pumpkin puree, it wouldn't hurt a thing. So next we are going to do 3 eggs. These are from our chickens. You can see, I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing. Get something to crack them into. So 3 eggs. 1, 2, and then 3. And I don't know if you could tell by watching me crack those in there, but 2 of those were water glassed, which means that they've been sitting for over 6 months in lime water. So water glassing is a great way to preserve eggs, and they're still raw eggs, but they are kept at room temperature, and it works great. Okay, so that was 3 eggs, 2 cups of pumpkin puree, And then this recipe calls for 1 cup of heavy cream. I have used coconut milk, I have used almond milk, I have used oat milk. This happens to be whole raw milk. So I am going to do 1 cup of this whole milk. And if you want to make it as decadent as possible, you can use heavy cream, heavy whipping cream, use half and half. Literally every kind of milk I've ever used, it always turns out amazing. So, not really anything to concern yourself with as far as the exact right ingredients. Vanilla extract, I've been making that for years. Super easy. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to make vanilla extract. Oh, it smells really good. This calls for a teaspoon, which we're going to say that's about a teaspoon. I do like, as far as the flavoring goes, I like it as flavorful as possible. Salt, I'm using Redmond's real salt. That calls for half a teaspoon. But heck, who doesn't want some salt? And then next it calls for sugar. So it calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And just think of sugar as any type of sweetener. You can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar, you can use maple syrup, you can use honey. And you don't have to put 3/4 of a cup in either. You can put as much or as little in as you want. Because it's your recipe. And you can customize it to yourself. So today, I'm going to use some good organic maple syrup. And I am not going to put 3/4 of a cup in because I never do. I like it sweet, but it doesn't need to be over the top. So I'll probably just do a half a cup. Just do a half a cup. That might be all I have is a half a cup. So that works out well. Yeah, this original recipe called for brown sugar. Actually, I like the way the maple tastes in the pie because it adds a lot of depth of flavor, having the maple syrup in there. It's really yummy. Okay, so what we have in here so far is we have 3 eggs, 2 cups of pumpkin puree from the pumpkins we baked, the pumpkin I baked, 1 cup of whole milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla, half a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and now the fun part. So this recipe calls for pumpkin pie spice. I've never been a fan of this. I feel like this is cheating. If you look on the back here, there's organic cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove. Well, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and clove. Now granted, my cloves are whole cloves, so what I'm going to do today is I could put these in my spice grinder and grind them up, but I'm probably just going to use a little bit of this just to give me a little bit of the clove flavor. So this calls for 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of pie spice. Well, this is nutmeg, so I'm just going to sprinkle in some nutmeg. I'm not real big on measuring. Honestly, the flavorings, it's better to have too much than not enough. Cinnamon, I usually go a little heavier on the cinnamon. Everyone likes that flavor. Pop this up. So that's probably about 2 teaspoons, give or take. Ginger, I'm going to go a little lighter on the ginger. Ginger tends to be a little overwhelming in recipes. So I go heavy on the cinnamon, light on the ginger. And as you can see, I'm using the shaker, so not a lot's coming out. Okay, so that's the ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of this pumpkin pie spice in, just for good measure, since Sean bought it years ago. And that'll cover us for the nutmeg, or for the cloves. So that's it. So this is 3 eggs, 2 cups pumpkin puree, 1 cup of milk, vanilla, sugar, salt, and spices. I'm going to get the blender and be right back. Okay. So as easy as that, I just blended it up. I don't know if you can really see it. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to dump it directly in the pie pan that is in the toaster oven. So I will show you that. Let me turn the camera around. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. So, I don't like carrying the pie plate across the room to pour it in, so I do it right in the oven. I would do this whether I had a traditional oven or a toaster oven. So that's pretty good. You can see it'll level out when it goes in there. I'm actually going to pull it out a little bit more, scrape this out, and I will be back when the pie's done. 350 for an hour. Well, the pie's looking good. It's got about 30 minutes left. So, after I got cleaned up, got everything washed and put away, I packaged up the other pumpkin, and the other pumpkin is right here. That's 2 cups of pumpkin puree, and then I had a little bit of milk left, so I thought I would do a little, here, I'll show you, little chocolate pudding. See, it hasn't set up yet. So if you guys are interested, I can show you how I do that with bone broth and whole milk, a little bit of vanilla and cocoa. Alright, anyhow, I'll be back when I pull the pie out. Oh my goodness, if we had smell-o-vision. A little over 20 minutes left. There you have it. Okay, hot out of the oven. Beautiful. Crustless pumpkin pie. Pulls right away from the side. Probably left it a minute or two longer than I should have. That's okay. And then chocolate pudding I made isn't quite set up yet. You can see it's still kind of jello-y. Need to put that in the fridge for a couple hours. That'll set up. And then I also have saved a few of the pumpkin seeds. And there's the pumpkin pie seeds. So I have that little pie pumpkin, and now I can, grow some next year. I like to save my seeds. So let me know what you think about this pie. I think it's going to be amazing. I am taking it to Nancy's house. She's having a homesteading get-together with friends, and we're having a little bit of a Thanksgiving get-together, and I'm bringing pie. So there you go. Thanks, friends. This is Brenda here from the Pop-Up Homestead. If you think this looks good, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. And as always, feel free and like this video and subscribe to our channel. I'm going to be putting more great stuff up as always. And you never know, if you want to see how I make the chocolate pudding, or you want to see how I make the vanilla extract, or any of the other things that I used in this video that are pretty commonplace to me, let me know and I will do a video about it. Alright, take care, my CD friends.